This past fall, I set out from the eastern terminus of the Ice Age Trail with no plans in mind other than to just keep walking. I was hoping to complete at least a few hundred miles. As you'll soon see, that hope faded quickly. The trail starts at Potawatomi State Park near the small town of Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin. I started off late in the afternoon and walked a short way through a hardwood forest and along the shoreline to the campground of the state park, which is directly on the trail. My wife and I enjoyed a relaxing meal together before she headed back home, leaving me with just my thoughts, my tent, and a small stack of firewood. After just a few short miles, the trail emerged onto a roadway and took me to the town of Sturgeon Bay, which lies on a canal that connects the Bay of Green Bay to Lake Michigan. It's not even October yet, but already the signs of fall are starting to appear. With the fresh smell of the lake in the air, the path continued along the water for a couple of miles. I could picture people looking west to watch the sunset on a warm summer evening from this area. Outside of town, the trail joined a bike path, which made for some smooth walking. I stopped at a park for a quick break and took advantage of the easy water source. The trail in this section was a dream to walk on, not an obstacle in sight. Here's an example of a good old Wisconsin deer stand. This one complete with a deck, a chimney, and a TV antenna. Sign says stay on trail. Okay, deal. I will stay on the trail and not walk through the slimy swamp area. You got it. And now let's kind of focus in on this part here. Horse and dog owners are required to clean up after their animals. Dog owners easy, I do it all the time, but horse owners, I want to see that. What kind of a bag are you putting that in? And what if your horse goes like 2 or 3 times? Where does that go? Just think about that for a minute. You gotta be quick. Those deer will come busting right across there. Better be ready. I would never get a deer here because I'm sleeping half the time when I'm hunting. Right there the sign says, you gotta pick it up. I love how the horse has 3 little nuggets coming out of the rear end too. That's awesome. Yeah, look at this. Somebody not following the rules. Supposed to pack that out with you. Well, made it to the Timber Trail campground. This is pretty sweet. This is my spot. The owner here is super hiker friendly and gave me a discounted rate and even gave me 50 cents for the shower, a quarter for 8 minutes. That's going to be a long, nice, hot shower. So Awesome place. That guy was amazingly friendly. So right here is the sad tale of spilled water from my cook pot. It's super windy right now, so I had this brilliant idea. I'll make a windshield out of my butt pad. And that was working great until this huge gust of wind came and blew the whole thing over and knocked my cook pot over. Spilled all over my towel that was almost completely dry, and now it's soaked again. So we started over. More water, more oil, and away we go. I was able to get this done finally. Nor Asian teriyaki noodles with some buffalo chicken. That morning, I left the campground and quickly arrived in the town of Algoma. There are no blazes in town, so without the Far Out app or a map, you'll likely get lost. Algoma lies directly on the shores of Lake Michigan and has a fantastic waterfront. With the way the wind was blowing, you could have probably gone surfing on the beach that morning. After breakfast at a great little cafe, I left town and began an extended road walk. Although easy, road walking is very hard on your feet. And this road walk went on and on and on. After searching the Far Out app, I found an RV campground about 10 miles ahead and left a message asking if they'd host a hiker. They called back a short while later. Just got a message from that campground. I wanted to stay at $60 to pitch a tent. There's no way I'm paying $60 to pitch a tent. So I am going to try to find a place in somebody's yard tonight. I think that's the only option. So we'll see how that goes. The trail took me right through the lakeshore town of Kewanee, where I stopped for a burger at a restaurant overlooking Lake Michigan. Not long after lunch, I really started to feel the impact of the extended road walking. My feet are killing me right now. That road walk is so hard on the feet. I don't know how far I'm gonna be able to go today. If I have to, I might end up taking like an hour or two break, eating dinner, and then just starting to walk again. But we'll see. Figure it out. Anybody remember what these signs mean? You guessed it. Tetris tournament up ahead. How can you look at that thing and not want to twist it and then slide it down? After that water break, I started walking again. Man, I'm in a lot of pain. My right foot and shin and knee are like really beat. I'm starting to get a little bit worried about it because normally I get tired, but I normally don't feel this kind of pain. So I'm gonna keep going for a while and see what happens. And I did look at the map, and there's like literally no place to stop, even by a house. I don't think, anyways, for a long way, like another 8 or 9 miles. I'm still not sure we're not gonna be able to find a spot to camp tonight, but we'll keep looking. Right now, it's just a lot of farm fields and a lot of swampy stuff. No homes where I could go knock on the door and beg for a spot to camp in their yard, but we'll see what we find. I just called my wife. Not sure if any of you folks out there that are watch that show Alone, one of my favorite shows on the History Channel. But I told her I might have to push the button, and by push the button that means tapping out. Right now my foot and leg hurt and I'm limping, which that's not good. When you start to alter your gait, then other muscles and tendons and ligaments start having to do work they're not used to doing, and you cause yet additional injuries. So knowing that I would have like a 30-mile day tomorrow to get to the dispersed camping area I need to get to, and I'm over 20 now for mileage, but in this much pain, there just doesn't seem to be a whole lot of point. Honestly, if I was on my own out here, I don't know what I'd be doing, because there isn't really much for camping options tonight other than that $60 campground. I guess I'd probably be staying there. that I ought to be doing, which would suck. It's official. My wife's coming to get me. I'm hiding out in this culvert right now. It was raining before. It looks like it's stopped now, but she should be here in about a half hour or so. My leg just hurts so bad. It's just hard to even walk on it. And if this was a trail with a lot of camping options, I probably would have just stopped like 7 or 8 miles ago and just rested for the night. But on this trail, you just got to keep going because you're not allowed to camp anywhere except for a few spots. So anyway, this trip is way shorter than I expected, but what are you gonna do? Well, that ended up being a lot shorter hike than I had hoped. I am very glad that I did get off trail when I did, because when I got home, I realized I had quite a bit of swelling in my lower leg. Now, it did resolve itself within a couple of days. It was no big deal, but I think continuing to hike on that thing would have been a problem. Although the Ice Age Trail is about as flat and easy of walking as you're going to find anywhere, it is not without its challenges. And the largest of those challenges, in my opinion, is the lack of camping options. If you're used to hiking a long National Scenic Trail like the AT or the PCT or the Arizona Trail, where you can camp just about anywhere, that works out great. But it does not work that way on the Ice Age Trail. Most of the land on the side of the trail is privately owned and you're not allowed to camp there. I do not feel like I would have had to end my trip if I was on a trail that had unlimited camping options, because as soon as I started to feel some unusual pain, like not normal type of pain, I would have just stopped and set up camp for the day and rested. And then I could have done lower mileage days or taken a zero until I felt like I could go longer mileage days. Unfortunately, that was just not an option on the section of Ice Age Trail that I was on. I do know that some people will illegally stealth camp, but I am not going to do that, really for two main reasons. One is I do respect the rights of the landowner, and second of all, it just is not a good look for the backpacking community. Will I go back to the Ice Age Trail and try to pick up where I left off? I sure will, and I learned a lot from that trip, and there's two things I'm going to do differently. The first is I'm going to put in some road walking miles to get my feet used to that kind of pounding. I'll strap on my pack, do a bunch of miles on sidewalks and roads, just try to build up that strength in my feet. The second thing I'm going to do is around the logistics. Instead of just getting dropped off and walking, I'm going to take my truck and my mountain bike. I'll stash my mountain bike up ahead and I'll park my truck 15 or 20 miles back, walk to my bike, ride back to my truck, and then I have all kinds of options and flexibility because I'll have a vehicle with me. So between those two things, I think I can knock out quite a few miles on the Ice Age Trail. Although this hike ended up being quite a bit shorter than I would have hoped, I did learn a lot from it that I feel I can take with me the next time I'm out there. I hope you like watching my hike, and as I always say, please like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks, and we'll see you out on the trail.